Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Leadnap Gaming. Today I'm getting rid of a body. Actually, I'm going to get rid of a body in the background. Today what I really want to do is actually begin a conversation about the state of the alpha and kind of the direction I would like to see from Cloud Imperium for Star Citizen, and like I said, make a discussion about it, see where we're going with it. So before I do that, though, I just want to get started and say thanks, everyone, for your continued support. I know it's been a little bit here. I'm working on a huge tutorial release for DCS and some content on that front, which is taking up time. And then also just I've been really busy. I've also been taking a little bit of a break from Star Citizen, which we're going to come back to in a couple of minutes. So before we get started on where the alpha is and where to go, let's quickly talk about how you design a video game and the phases it goes through so that we're all on the same page. So you have an idea for a video game. The first thing you do is you come up with the design. You figure out all the stuff you want in it. Like, what cool features are there going to be? Well, people are going to be able to fly spaceships, but they're going to be able to land on planets. And then they're going to be able to get out and shoot at each other. And also there will be mini games on the ship to like damage broken stuff. Fix broken stuff, sorry. You got my point. Right, so then you have an alpha. And in an alpha, you actually code, you make all of those features into tangible, virtual tangible things. Right, so you make it so that you can walk around on the planet. You make the planet, you make the spaceships. You put all that stuff in, and bugs are okay. Bugs like that. Sorry, we'll just go get it. So in an alpha, you put all that stuff in, and then in the beta, you go back and you try to fix all of the... Okay. I guess I'm not picking it up again, but, I mean, it's disposed of now, right? I mean, it's gone. Well, I guess we'll see if that works and it accepts it for the mission. So yeah, betas. Alpha, you put it all in. In the beta, you fix all of the problems. And an alpha is usually not very playable because really the more features you put in, the more broken everything actually becomes. And then in the beta, you really kind of sand all the edges and make it all fit and work together. And then you release it. Usually you don't see alpha gameplay stuff. Yeah, and a lot of that is because, well, it's broken and looks bad and would be really bad press. Sound familiar to Cloud Imperium, anybody? But so Star Citizen, yeah, they did it a little different. And they did it a little different really eventually because they had to, right? You weren't going to get people to spend this kind of money and continue to wait to be able to see any amount of gameplay. So... Again? Well, alright, we really will see if this works. So Cloud Imperium, we're playing the alpha, and that's okay, and everything's going to be broken, and that's okay, because it's an alpha. And I don't want to join the chorus of people that go on about, oh, it's never going to work, and how bad this is, and whatnot, but I do want to create the middle position here. The alpha needs to be playable. And the sole reason for that is continued community engagement continues the cash flow. And as long as I can't take off, come on now, we can do it. Hey, look at that. It worked. It accepted it. Woohoo! Well, at least I made some money. But my ship's not quite doing... We're losing altitude. Yeah, so, you have to keep people playing to keep making the money, right? The project could not have gone on without opening the alpha up to everybody. So they opened it, great, and I'm glad they did because actually I think it's really cool to be able to see the game be developed, and it's a lot of fun even in its current state. But let's talk about that current state. So the new crime stat system, for example, is horrendously broken. And if Cloud Imperium fixes one thing this month, please let it be, well, really please let it be hover mode. But the second thing would be the crime stat system. So I've had a crime stat since about 10 minutes into 3.6. Yeah, look, more stuff that doesn't work. But I've had a crime stat this entire time, and I wanted to see, you're supposed to be able to lay low and it goes away, and it's not. And that's why I haven't gone to SPK to clear it out or anything like that. But that has prevented me from playing most of the quote-unquote legitimate gameplay loops. So I'm not testing them, and I can't play them, and that's kind of a problem, right? In my opinion, 3.4 was the height of playable alpha. Were there a ton of bugs? Yes. Could you do missions and stuff like that and not get paid? Absolutely. Were ladders killing people? Oh, yeah, they were. But you could still jump into the verse with your friends and have fun. You could still make your own fun if you needed to. And that really feels like it's gone now in 3.6. The game just really feels unplayable. And like I said, it's to be expected. The more features they put in during the alpha, the more broken the game should be. So how do we fix that? Well, my idea, and like I said, this is the start of a discussion and a conversation. So my idea is Cloud Imperium needs to hire a full-time beta team. And the last thing I want to do is suggest to Cloud Imperium to hire anybody else and spend any more money, because they'll probably try to put it in a completely different country for funsies. But perhaps looking at some sort of a hybrid approach to beginning the beta while the game is still in alpha. Now that introduces a lot of issues, because it makes it really hard to introduce features when the game code changes regularly, because as one team is fixing bugs and is changing the code, another team is trying to implement features into that code. So this requires a lot of vision and a lot of very good management, which we haven't quite seen yet from Cloud Imperium. But I think that's the first step, is begin the beta process now. Start smashing some of these bugs. Why are ladders still killing people? Why are packages still falling through and people still falling through floors, right? That should be fixable before the official beta happens, in my opinion. That's something you could fix and make the game playable and keep players playing. Like I said, I took a little break from the game, and I know other concierge members that have taken breaks, and someone might say, well, who cares if concierge members stop playing the game? Well, the problem is this. If someone's already spent thousands of dollars on the game, it means that they're probably also then able to continue spending thousands of dollars on the game. Losing those people and getting the people that paid $45 to get into the game, and that was it, and have never spent any more money, is kind of a problem for CIG, right? That's money they're losing. Just counting it before it's hatched, but that's potential revenue lost. And there is a very toxic and very angry community of gamers that do not like this project. And there are people that will never try this project because other people badmouth it. So the alpha must always be playable, and the alpha really needs to start improving, even though it becomes a Herculean battle going the other way. The other thing that's a little more painful that I think they really do need to look at and address is, what do we really need to release the game? Part of the reason this alpha is taking forever is because they keep coming up with ideas to put into the damn game. And the reality is, you should have already figured out everything you wanted in the game before you actually began coding it. So, this is my list. And again, I want to talk about this in the comments below, so don't think that this is my way or the highway. First, we need the economy. And when I say economy, I mean, like, all the different kind of elements. And yes, that's how you have to land now, by the way, folks. So, like, you know, a working flight model could also be included in economy, I guess. But, so we need things like salvage. Salvage operations should be a thing, right? We have the reclaimer. We've done all this discussion about it. It's a element of the raw materials into the economy, and it should be there. We need mining, which already exists. Hooray! We need cargo transport, which half exists. We need stuff that gives you a reason to play the game, right? We have bounties, we have first-person shooters, all that stuff. That's all good. We don't need the building structures on planets yet. We don't need that yet. We just don't, okay? Someday, yes, but like, think about it. You couldn't build space stations in EVE for like 10 years, okay? There's a precedent that the launched game can add features. So we need a working economy, and we need a working game loop that gives us a reason to actually play the game. Next, we need 2 solar systems. We do not need 100 systems to launch the game. We only need 2. We have the Stanton system, and it's almost done. Great. Perfect. That's the major economy center. Awesome. We just need 1 more, which is where we can actually do exploration. Now, you do have to still design it, but all of the automation elements that they're putting into this stuff to make it work don't actually need to be there yet. The reason you need 2 and can't just stick to 1 is because we do need the system-to-system transportation model to exist at launch. So that has to be worked out now. But we don't need 3 or more systems because you can add those after the launch. You can even add them in during the beta because all you're adding is more map space. And last, we need most of our promised ships. Again, like the Pioneer, probably not yet because we can't build anything, and I'm saying we don't need to be able to build structures yet. But we do need the hulls A through whatever E. We need the Argo and the Vulcan. We need the Carrack. Those ships need to get into the game. And the truth is if they're a little rough around the edges visually, that's okay. There's comfort in the player community with allowing their ships to get better in an update pass. People are okay with that. As long as they don't have to pay for it, it's acceptable to get them in and then make them look sexier a little later on. As long as you don't change too much of the language. But I think those are the 3 things for me that if they could hammer that out now, they could push this game into a full beta and then get it launched. And I hate to be the guy prophesizing it, but the real truth really is every month that Star Citizen remains in alpha, it gets harder and harder to launch successfully. Cloud Imperium is up against a clock, whether they like to think it or not, and it needs to happen. Releasing the first episode of Squadron 42 is a noble goal, and I think that, yes, it'll work out a lot of these gameplay mechanics, but the truth is we are not playing the alpha of Squadron 42, and really the perception people have of this game is based on its alpha, which is why you normally don't allow outsiders to see your alpha. Star Citizen opened the box on allowing us to play the alpha, so they need to do it a little differently and make sure that it remains playable. Anyways, those are my ideas and thoughts. Let's talk about it down below. What ideas do you have? Am I right about something? Am I missing the point on buildable structures or something? You tell me. Let's talk about it. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will catch you all next time.